We are kicking off today with SmackDown, as one of the best segments on the SmackDown before Bash in Berlin saw CODY Rhodes and Kevin Owens engage in a fiery promo war before they locked horns for the undisputed WWE Championship at the upcoming Premium Live event. KO brought up CODY's apparent knee injury sustained during the live tour, while the American Nightmare refused to acknowledge the same. CODY's decision to compete despite not being at his best visibly ticked off Owens. If the latter loses, he could feel insulted by the fact that his best friend beat him despite not being at his best. There have been speculations over KO's potential heel turn since this match was booked, but now the creative team has added substantial reasons for Kevin Owens to betray CODY Rhodes after their match at Bash in Berlin. The history of Owens and Rhodes runs a lot deeper than the recent run-ins with the Bloodline, and inadvertently acted as one of the dominoes that fell in the creation of All Elite Wrestling. During a recent interview with Shaq Wrestling, Owens was asked about how he helped Rhodes find his footing on the independent scene when he originally left WWE in 2016, putting him in contact with the Young Bucks, two of Owens' closest friends, and how all of that contributes to the larger narrative surrounding their upcoming match. I really wanted him to have the best possible introduction to the independent scene because he had never been around. He had never done that. At the time, he had already been in WWE's system for so long, and the independent scene is a whole different ballgame from what WWE is. So I just guided him in the right direction and put him in touch with the Young Bucks, knowing they would take care of him, and I knew they'd hit it off, and they did. I was right. Owens noted that putting Rhodes in contact with the Young Bucks would give him the right platform to show WWE what they were missing out on, and eventually got Rhodes the flowers he already thought he deserved at the time. What do you think of their match? Will Kevin Owens turn heel? Sound off in the comments below. More from SmackDown, as Solo Sikoa didn't appear in person, but the Tribal Chief made his plans clear in a video vignette. Sikoa recalled the path of destruction his bloodline has been on so far, and spoke about plans for an 8-man tag team match next week. That match will see the bloodline face DIY and the Street Profits, but Sikoa also made clear that he still plans on being undisputed WWE champion in the near future. Solo said that it doesn't matter who wins the title match at today's Bash in Berlin, and whether it's CODY Rhodes or Kevin Owens, he's coming for whoever's leaving Germany with the gold. Jacob Fatu wrapped the segment by placing the Ulafala around Solo's neck, making clear that the bloodline story with Roman Reigns is also not over yet. Reigns was laid out on SmackDown recently and didn't appear in Berlin, and it appears WWE is gearing up for another title match for Solo, likely at Bad Blood this October. Solo has dominated on the main roster, but championship gold has so far eluded him. And could that change in Atlanta, Georgia at Bad Blood? Time will tell. At TNA Emergence, Alisha Edwards was part of a 6-woman tag team match where an unfortunate accident took place. She teamed with Ash by Elegance and Militia to face Jordynne Grace, Jody Threat, and Dani Luna. Unfortunately, things went very wrong in the bout. Very early into the match, there was a spot that saw all 6 brawl with the 3 heels ending up on the floor. Grace then threw her Spitfire partners onto the pile of bodies before preparing to dive herself. Unfortunately, no one got up for her to dive onto. She seemed frustrated and went over to check, but noticed that Spitfire was unable to lift up a lifeless Edwards. The rest of the stars moved to the other side of the ring after signaling to the doctors, who immediately rushed to check on Edwards. Tommy Dreamer made his way out to the ringside area as well, helping the doctors to rush her to the back after she continued to not respond. Now, Jordynne Grace has issued a statement about the matter as well, saying they all love Edwards and such accidents can happen on live shows. At this time, what exactly happened to Alisha Edwards is unclear, and further updates are awaited. Thankfully, Fightful reported via social media that word from backstage was that Edwards appeared to be okay after the scary moment. She was sent to the hospital to conduct other tests. We will share updates as and when they are made available. Our best wishes are with Alisha at this hour, and hoping that she recovers as soon as possible. WWE's Bash in Berlin weekend kicked off with an electrifying SmackDown at the city's Uber Arena, and began with the arrival of LA Knight, who last week spoke of an open challenge. True to his word, the US champ issued an open challenge, much to the delight of the crowd, and this challenge was answered by none other than Germany's own Ludwig Kaiser. The atmosphere reached fever pitch as the crowd supported their hometown hero, who vowed to win the gold and rechristen it the European Championship. This was a solid competitive match, but rather paint by numbers, as no one expected a title change so close after Knight won the gold, but the crowd still went along for the ride. They reacted positively to everything Kaiser did, and according to our correspondent in attendance, Knight was getting boozed by the end. Knight won with a BFT and celebrated, and while there were plenty of fans cheering him, Kaiser was the favorite. What did you make of this match? Should WWE have had Kaiser win in front of his countrymen? Let us know in the comments. During the match, Michael Cole shared on commentary that Giovanni Vinci would be returning to WWE on next week's SmackDown after several vignettes. Whether Vinci wrestles on the show is yet to be seen, but at least next week we'll get to see how fans will receive his new gimmick. What are your thoughts on Giovanni Vinci arriving at SmackDown next week? Are you excited to see him? Sound off in the comments. Artem Chigvintsev, known for Dancing with the Stars and his marriage to former WWE star Nikki Bella, has recently been in the news due to his arrest for domestic battery. New information has come out suggesting that their marriage has had a history of tension and conflict. The incident began early in the morning when Chigvintsev made a 911 call from his home around 8:30 a.m., initially reporting a medical emergency. However, a second call was made shortly after to cancel the request for emergency services. Despite the retraction, the situation escalated, prompting deputies from the Napa County Sheriff's Office to arrive on the scene by 10 a.m. Upon arrival, officers observed visible injuries on the alleged victim, leading to Chigvintsev's arrest on felony charges of causing harm to a spouse or cohabitant. He was subsequently booked into Napa County Jail with bail set at $25,000 and has since been released. A new tweet by TMZ on X has brought the audio clip of the 911 call to public attention. In the clip, the dispatcher is heard explaining the situation to local authorities. According to the dispatcher, Chigvintsev mentioned that Nikki Bella had thrown shoes at him, which may have contributed to the escalation of the incident. The dispatcher also noted that a child was present at the scene and that Chigvintsev and Bella were physically separated at the time of the call. Despite the cancellation of the medical request, law enforcement responded due to the serious nature of the situation. In an update, Artem Chigvintsev's recent arrest for domestic violence didn't come as a complete surprise to those who know him and Nikki Bella well. People familiar with their relationship says it has always been volatile. While Artem Chigvintsev and Nikki Bella's friends were aware of verbal arguments between the couple, they hadn't heard of any physical fights until this incident. The consistent issue in their marriage reportedly involved control and belittlement. Currently, Artem is not staying in their Napa Valley home, and Nikki is taking care of their 4-year-old son, Mateo. This incident has garnered significant public attention, raising concerns about the couple's personal lives. In response to the media coverage, Nikki Bella's representative has requested privacy during this challenging time as the situation continues to develop. It remains to be seen whether both parties will release an official statement regarding the incident. The main event of SmackDown was a street fight between women's champion Nia Jax and Mi Chin, and the culmination of the several run-ins the pair have shared in recent weeks. Mi Chin gave a promo before wheeling a shopping cart full of weapons to the ring, and she brought the fight from the start with a kendo stick. The veteran Jax yanked it away and chased her around with it, and while Jax seemed hesitant to use weapons, commentary noted that Mi Chin was an expert in street fights. Sure enough, the challenger took full advantage of the stipulation, and the match descended into pure chaos after Mi Chin sent Jax through a table. Anticipation continued to build, but any chance of Mi Chin winning the title evaporated when Tiffany Stratton raced to the ring with her custom-made Money in the Bank briefcase. Stratton pummeled Mi Chin with the briefcase before considering cashing in her contract on the downed Jax, but the Queen caught her, and thus no cash-in happened. Stratton went to hit the prettiest moonsault ever on Mi Chin, but was stopped by a returning Bayley in her first appearance since losing the women's title at SummerSlam. As Bayley chased Stratton out of the arena, Jax covered Mi Chin's body with a trash can and hit the Annihilator for the win, ending the exciting, chaotic street fight main event. With Bayley's return, it appears that she is starting a new feud with Tiffany Stratton, and we can't count out WWE throwing a bonus match into today's Bash in Berlin card. As we reported earlier this week, Bayley is healthy and has been competing at live events in Europe, and now the role model appears poised to feud with Miss Money in the Bank. It'll be interesting to see who comes out on top in this rivalry, and what did you make of the main event of SmackDown? Let us know in the comments. More from TNA Wrestling as last night the promotion held its Emergence pay-per-view, which saw 6 of TNA's very best compete for the coveted X Division title in an Ultimate X match. Champion Mike Bailey had the odds against him as he defended against Zachary Wentz, Hammerstone, Jason Hotch, Laredo Kid, and NXT's Riley Osborne, and all of them electrified the crowd. The match was a buffet of high-flying action and jaw-dropping moments, but ultimately, it was Zachary Wentz who emerged victorious and captured his first X Division title. It was an emotional moment for the Rascals member and marks a significant achievement in his career, and this win is the latest high-profile spot for him in wrestling. Wentz, alongside Trey Miguel, recently appeared in NXT to reunite the Rascals with Wes Lee, but things took a dramatic turn when Lee betrayed his longtime friends. This has led to a heated rivalry between Wentz and Lee that will see the pair face off this Sunday at NXT No Mercy in Denver in what could easily be a show-stealing bout. Wentz could even bring his X Division title to NXT programming, and what's your take on his title win? Do you think he'll beat Wes Lee at No Mercy? Let us know in the comments. Andrade and Carmelo Hayes' fourth match on SmackDown got off to an aggressive start as both men were looking to make an example out of the other. With the intensity palpable, the two men delivered a highly entertaining match, as they have every time they've wrestled as part of this feud. WWE has found two men who bring out the best in each other every single time, and it was wise to keep putting them in the ring, and the two were given plenty of time. Fighting through 2 ad breaks, the duo put on a 4th classic, with a match as exciting as anything you'll see at a premium live event. Hayes tied up their feud at 2-2 with a clean pin following a flying leg drop that caught El Idolo in the face, and expect a rematch between the two in due time. The excitement didn't stop when SmackDown went off the air, as in a dark match, World Heavyweight Champion Gunther put the gold on the line against Ilya Dragunov. The pair wrestled several times before coming to WWE, but their most high-profile match was at NXT TakeOver 36, where Dragunov beat the ring general in an instant classic. According to data from Cage Match, the two have faced off 23 times in 9 years, with the first 11 clashes being in Germany, and as expected, both men held nothing back. Neither man can do wrong when they share the ring, and that continued last night as the two men waged a war that was hard-hitting from the start. With that said, our correspondent reports that during the match, fans amused themselves with a Mexican wave, which was a surprise given the talents and history of the wrestlers. Thankfully, that settled down after a few minutes and fans again focused on the match, which saw Gunther retain to chants of "This is awesome" and fight forever. These two will inevitably clash again on the main roster one day, but the timing just needs to be right, as this is a showdown worthy of a spot on any PLE. Back to SmackDown, as Angel and Berto picked up a win over Apollo Crews and Baron Corbin, and this was a much-needed win for the heels that'll likely lead to a rematch. We're just days removed from Ricochet officially making the jump from WWE to AEW, surprising thousands with a debut at the promotion's All In London card on Sunday. It's not unusual for wrestlers to switch from one promotion to the other. In fact, Ricochet is joining quite a long list of names to do so in recent years. Ricochet details the main reasons why he chose AEW over WWE in a recent interview with Sports Illustrated. He said, "I've been doing this for a long time, 21 years this year, and for me, the time when I was like having the most fun in my career was when I was like traveling the world with those crazy lunatics in the back there. It's literally the time when I was having the most fun." Ricochet made sure to note that he has had fun throughout his 21-year career, and that isn't going to change anytime soon. However, seeing his friends forge their own path in AEW made him realize where he really wanted to be. He said, "I was having the most fun when I was hanging out with these guys and traveling the world with these guys and having matches with these guys and creating the art that I really like to make for I feel like the Ricochet fans out there who's been, I guess just missing the opportunity to shine. But for me, it's to have fun again and to create that art again." Leaving a company like WWE is a massive step for any wrestler, considering that, despite what some fans would like to admit, they are the biggest company in the world. But sometimes that isn't the be-all and end-all for a performer, as Ricochet explained that leaving WWE was both easy and difficult in equal measure. "Yes, it was hard because it's a place I've been for the last 6 years. I got some really good connections, some friends, and some good memories there, so it was definitely hard." Ricochet concluded by saying that he had seen the stars of AEW having fun and knew that he wanted to be a part of it eventually, and as much as it was a difficult decision to leave WWE, he knew that it was the right one. We're ending today with another dark match. Damian Priest took on his former Judgment Day ally Dominik Mysterio, the latter of whom earned a chorus of boos from the German crowd. The crowd had already made their views clear on the Bash in Berlin kickoff show, as they were in favor of the Terror Twins, so Mysterio should have expected the reaction he got. In something of a surprise, Mysterio vs. Priest ended in just about 2.5 minutes, and you would have thought such a personal first-time match would have been given longer. It's likely that the match was short so that the Gunther vs. Dragunov match had plenty of time, as that was the match more fans were interested to see. Dirty Dom wasted some time outside the ring, so the actual in-ring action lasted a minute or so before Priest got a win with the chokeslam on the man he'll face later today.